Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Unboxing the Vinyl. I'm your host, Tim Bianconi. And this time I want to take a look at the new Foo Fighters album, Medicine at Midnight. It came out this past Friday, February the 5th. Today is February the 7th, so I may be a little bit late opening this up online. However, I was hesitant to buy this new Foo Fighters on vinyl because I really wasn't super crazy about their last two records. Sonic Highways was okay, but over time really hasn't stuck with me. And I really didn't think Concrete and Gold was a very good record at all. I thought there was one or two good songs and the rest of it just wasn't very good. So I was hesitant to buy this new record. And, the singles they put out, they pre-released really didn't do much to change my mind. Shame, Shame, they played it on Saturday Night Live. It kind of just meanders or whatever, really doesn't go anywhere. And this is after the Foo Fighters ran around saying that this new album was full of big anthemic rock songs, and then they put out Shame, Shame, and I'm like, that's like the opposite of that. And No Son of Mine, while a decent song, was still just kind of like, I'm not real sure about this direction. But I did buy a digital copy of the album when it came out on Friday. I listened to it a couple times, and I will say, I'm not going to put it up there with Wasting Light or, One by One, or the debut record, but it is a very, very good Foo Fighters record. There's a couple little surprises on there. And again, Barry's Concrete and Gold, and it is, a good bit better, than Sonic Highways. So, that being said, I don't really need to take you through, a history of the Foo Fighters, and everybody knows Dave Grohl came from Nirvana, and some of the guys came from Sunny Day Real Estate, and Taylor Hawkins came from Alanis Morissette's band, and Pat Smear was in a punk band, and then he was a Nirvana, touring guitar player, blah, blah, blah. You can look all that up yourself. I just want to go ahead and take a look at this new record. So let's go ahead and open this bad boy up. Here's my package from Amazon. Oops. Oh, we edit some of this part out. All right. So let's have a look-see. All right. All right, here is the new Foo Fighters record, Medicine at Midnight. I don't necessarily know what the cover is supposed to be. I mean, I guess it's kind of cool. It's Foo Fightery. I don't really know. So there's the front cover of the record. Here's the back cover of the record. Pretty much just has a track listing. Nothing fancy. No pictures of the band or nothing else. And I'll be honest, I haven't done a lot of research on this to see if there were special editions or if the disc is a funny color or anything like that. I really didn't go through and do any of that research, so we'll all be surprised together. So let me go ahead and unwrap this bad boy. All right. And again, I might edit some of this out too. All right. Oh, hope I didn't just bend the record or the cover here. All right, so we have taken it out of the shrink wrap once again, and I think this might look a little bit better because there's no glare, but there is the front of the record. Here is the back. Now, there's only 9 songs on this record, so it's not a double record or anything, I don't think. No, there's just one record in here. So let's take a look and see what's inside. The first thing I see are a couple of inserts. So let's go ahead and pull those out and see what we have. Okay. So the first is the lyric sheet. Starting with the first song, Making a Fire. There's the first handful of songs. I think the first 5 songs. And then the back has the lyrics to the other 4 songs, as well as a bunch of liner notes and different things on the back here. Excuse me. So that's pretty cool. So cool lyric sheet. And then I'm assuming, if you'd rather put your record in this sleeve as opposed to the sleeve that it's in on the inside, you could put it in here. But again, this is just a picture of the band, which now consists of 6 people, at least in the core of the band, and then they have 3 backup singers, so they're damn near Leonard Skinners these days. And the back just has more stuff that looks like the cover of the record. So cool, cool little insert there. All right, and then let's see if there's anything special about the vinyl. Nobody seems to put download cards in the records anymore. I always thought that was kind of a cool thing, to offset the fact that sometimes you pay $25-30 for one of these. At least you got the digital downloads, so you didn't have to go buy those separately or steal them separately or, whatever you call it. But anyway, here is the actual inner sleeve that has the vinyl in it. It's not anti-static or anything. It's just a standard paper paper sleeve. And as I pull the record out, not that fancy. Here, let's start with side A. And I know some asshole will be like, oh, you got your fingers all over the record. Fuck you. Anyway, so here is the front side of the record. Again, it's just standard black vinyl. I guess it's 180 gram, as most things are these days. It's not as heavy as, a lot of 180 gram records, but, and the inner sticker really just has something similar to the cover of the record with the track listings for that side. And then, the blue version of that on the second side with, again, just a track listing. So again, nothing too special, nothing too crazy, about any of the packaging, which is okay. So there you go. I mean, that's what the inside of the record looks like, with all its contents. Again, your lyric sheet and your alternate sleeve, I'm not really sure. So there you go. There it is. There is the new Foo Fighters record. Before I go, I just wanted to talk about a few highlights. Now, again, I mentioned the singles earlier, Shame, Shame, and No Son of Mine, neither one of which is a bad song. I just don't necessarily think, after hearing the entire record, that those were the best singles they could have selected. What's that? Waiting on a War is another single that I've heard on the radio a few times, and, that's a pretty, I like that song a lot. It harkens back to a lot of the stuff that was on Echo, Silence, Patience, and Grace. It really has that kind of sound to it. And there's some songs on here that are pretty standard, pretty standard Foo. The last song on the record, which is called Love Dies Young, I mean, that's pretty standard by the numbers Foo Fighters. Cloud Spotter is pretty standard. I did hear that on a Super Bowl commercial earlier tonight. That was kind of neat. But some of the highlights for me, the title track, Medicine at Midnight. It has a bit of a funky beat to it, a funky bass line, but when he starts singing the verses, it really reminds me a lot of late 80s, early 90s, quote-unquote alternative, like your REMs, your Driving and Cryings, stuff in that vein. Not your straightforward rock and roll that Foo Fighters are normally known for, so that was kind of cool. And then there's a song on here called Holding Poison, that I think sounds very much, sounds like it has a lot of Aerosmith influence. But when I say Aerosmith, I don't mean like 70s Aerosmith. I mean like the late 80s, early 90s resurgence of Aerosmith. And actually that song to me sounds like an Aerosmith song that like Joe Perry would sing. Not to say that, Dave Grohl's a better singer than Joe Perry is, but it sounds like the kind of songs or the kind of song that, a Joe Perry would sing on an Aerosmith record, except in this case it's Foo Fighters. So I thought that was kind of neat, And again, the Waiting on a War, sounded like echoes, Silence, Patience, and Grace. And the song, the opening track, Making a Fire, has something a little bit different, that I had mentioned earlier that the band has 6 core members, and now there's 3 backup singers, when they play live or when they play TV shows or whatever, which I thought was interesting. And those backup singers are pretty prominent on the chorus to Making a Fire. So that's a new little twist on the band. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'd have to go back and look, but I think this is actually the first album with the keyboard player, whose name I can't remember. I'll put it up on the wall or something. But I will say, this record, unlike Concrete and Gold, this record rocks. Again, I don't know. I'd have to listen to it a few more times to see if I'm ready to put it up there with One by One or their debut record or my favorite Foo Fighters record, which is 2011's Wasting Light. I'm not sure if it's up on that level yet, but it's a great record. It rocks. It's only 9 songs. It's not a real long record. It's maybe 40 something minutes at best. So it's great. Give it a shot, give it a listen, and tell me in the comments what you think. Hope you enjoyed that. If you like what you saw, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I've got some other videos out there, some other unboxing videos, as well as my other show, Inside the Vinyl, and also my Lost Classic series. I also have some concert footage from some festivals. As we know, for the last year or so, we've not been able to go to concerts or big festivals. So if you want to remember what those feel like, check out some of those videos. And I also have some really, really mediocre disc golf videos played by some really, really mediocre players, myself included. So again, subscribe to my channel, check out my other videos, and we'll see you next time. Peace out.